Good morning, students. Now open page number 10, chemical equation. So what is a chemical equation? A chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using the symbols and formula of the substance involved in the reaction. So whatever the reactants are there, means gases, solids, whatever it is, whatever the molecules are there, you write their formula. You show it by an arrow. If some more reactants are there, positive plus sign is there. Like this reaction, you can see carbon plus oxygen in presence of heat, or when they are heated, when carbon is heated in presence of oxygen, carbon dioxide is formed. So carbon formula C, they have written. Oxygen, we know it exists in molecular form, O2 form, and then carbon dioxide formula is CO2. You also know that the species present on the left hand side of the arrow, they are reactants, and the right hand side ones are called the products. So here CO2 is the product and carbon along with oxygen, they are reactants. Now what is a balanced equation? It is an equation in which the total number of atoms of each elements in the reactants on the left side of the equation is same as the number of atoms in the products formed on the right side of the equation. For example, here you can see calcium carbonate will give you calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Now how many atoms of calcium are there on the left hand side? It is 1. On the right hand side, again it is 1. How many carbon are there on left hand side? 1. How many on right hand side? Carbon is 1. And how many oxygen are there on left hand side? It is 3. And on the right hand side, it is once again 3 oxygen atoms are there. One in calcium oxide, another 2 atoms in carbon dioxide. Now this is potassium nitrate, this is potassium nitrite, this is oxygen. So how many potassium are there on the left hand side? 2 potassium right hand side. How many nitrogen left hand side? This 2 belongs to every species, okay? So this 2 belongs to this nitrogen also. So 2 nitrogen, once again 2 nitrogen. And how many oxygen? 3, here 2. So 3 multiplied by 2 means 6 oxygen atoms are there. So here should be 6 also. 2 multiplied by 2, 4 plus 2, total 6. Now what is the need of balancing the equation? An equation must be balanced in order to comply with the law of conservation of matter, which states that matter is neither created nor destroyed in the course of a chemical reaction. Got this? Now how to balance a chemical equation? Now students, there is no hard and fast rule for this balancing the equation. Only hit and trial method we have to follow. And this partial equation method, basically it is not in your syllabus, but they have shown you. And this hit and trial method means every time you need to put some number on the left hand side, accordingly you need to change on the right hand side. So this will come only after having more practice. Now what are the limitations in a chemical equation? Now you can see we don't know if calcium carbonate is in solid form, liquid form or gaseous form. We don't know what is the state of calcium oxide, what is the state of carbon dioxide. Although with our normal common sense we know carbon dioxide exists in the gaseous phase, but otherwise in some other cases we cannot tell which one is the solid, liquid or gas phase. Simultaneously we cannot deduce out if the reaction is fast or slow. It can be fast, it can be slow, okay? We don't know if this reaction is whether this reaction is reversible or irreversible. So in order to make the chemical equation more meaningful, we need to put some more things or parameters in our chemical reaction. Like on page number 14, you can see on the right hand column, nitrogen, hydrogen, they are reacting together. Although they have not mentioned that these are gases, but with our common sense we know they are gases. And then the catalyst is Fe, that is iron, and molybdenum, MO, taking place at this 450 degrees Celsius temperature and 200 to ATM means atmospheric pressure. Now this reaction is more meaningful than the case if there would not have been the parameters written like not written like 200 to 900 or 450 degrees Celsius or iron and molybdenum. Now relative atomic mass. Students, you know what atomic mass is? It is the mass of an atom. So instead of talking about atomic mass, why they have written it like relative atomic mass? Because they have taken a reference atom and that reference atom is carbon. So every atom they have compared with the carbon atom, every element they have compared with carbon, and from there they said that the atomic mass or atomic weight can also be called as a relative atomic mass or atomic weight. Let me give you an example why this reference atom or relative atom is being taken here. Now students, on your screen there is a pencil. So if I ask you if it is a bigger one or a smaller one, you can't say. But if I put something like this, so here our pen has become the relative species. Now I can say that pencil is bigger than this pen. And this is the formula to deduce the relative atomic mass. But students, you need not to worry to go for this formula. Just do remember first 1 to 20 elements atomic mass. Now what is the relative molecular mass of this species, that is H2O, that is water? So you know, for one hydrogen atom, one is the relative atomic mass, but there are two hydrogen atoms, so 1 multiplied by 2 plus how many oxygen are there? Only one. And what is the mass of one oxygen atom? We know it is 16. So the total figure will come out to be 18. 16 ones are 16 plus 2 ones are 2, that is 16 plus 2, 18. So 18 is the relative atomic mass, and we use the word AMU, atomic mass unit, or simply you can write 18U, atomic unit. Furthermore, if I ask you what is the percentage composition of this hydrogen in this whole molecule of water, so we know percentage of hydrogen will be mass of hydrogen, mass of whole compound means water, H2O, into 100. That will come out to be mass of hydrogen, it is 2 here. In this equation it is 2. Divided by mass of water is 18 and then 100. So I guess it will come out to be somewhere like this. Now empirical formula of a compound. The empirical formula of a compound is the formula which gives the simplest whole number ratio of atoms of different elements present in one molecule of the compound. Let me give you one example. Okay, one example is also written there, like H2O2, you can see over there, H2O2. So if you just cancel out this number, so it will become HO. Although hydrogen peroxide is having this formula, but the empirical formula of hydrogen peroxide is HO, because it is written as the simplest whole number ratio. One more example I am giving you. This is C6H12O6. This is formula of glucose that you know. Now this is the real molecular formula. This is called the molecular formula. Now its empirical formula will be simplest whole number ratio. So if I just take out the common ones, so it will become C1H2O1. So this is the empirical formula of glucose. This is molecular formula of glucose. Now what is molecular mass of glucose? We know 6 atoms of glucose are there and 12 is the atomic mass of one carbon, then 1 atom, 12 atoms of hydrogen are there and 1 is the atomic mass of hydrogen, plus 6 is the number of oxygen atoms and 16 is the mass of oxygen, so I guess it will come out to be 180 units. So molecular formula mass is 180 units for glucose, and molecular empirical formula mass of glucose is C1 means 12, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen means 16, so it will come out to be 30 U. So this is empirical formula mass for glucose. Now students, we have come to an end of this chapter. In next video we will start chapter 2. Till then, goodbye.